I just reacted to Phil from Germany video, and I found out that even though I'm Canadian, so not American, a lot of what American told her, I also taught myself.
You know when people say that there are no dumb questions? I actually say that myself a lot. Well, turns out sometimes there are.
I cannot wait to see what are the questions.
Hallo, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. So for the fifth and last video of my Ask a German mini-series, I'm gonna answer this question that a lot of you guys also voted for in the poll. What's the most annoying question you get asked by Americans? Which reminded me of this TikTok trend from a couple months ago where people from
I'm Canadian. Do I count? Do we say stupid things? I hope not.
from all over the world talked about the dumbest question an American had asked them.
There's maybe like 10 of us all trying to explain to this American couple why they probably don't have fireworks for the 4th of July in Marrakesh, Morocco.
And I said, I've never really been more than a city kid. Like I've always been either near or in a city. And she asked me, weren't you born in Peru? And I was like, yes. She goes, wait, I don't understand. Like, how are you in a city in Peru?
And then he said, oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, it's not pronounced Algeria, it's pronounced Argentina. I had to explain to him that I came from an actual country called Algeria.
So I decided that I'll be sharing both with you.
This is fake, right? There's no way people said that.
The most annoying and the dumbest questions I've been asked by Americans. And of course, no offense to anyone who has asked me these things before. As I said in this video, I usually don't think that any questions are stupid, especially when it's about cultural differences and those kinds of things. But that doesn't mean that there aren't moments where I think to myself, wow, seriously? Still, please just take it with a grain of salt. Let's start with the dumbest questions I've...
Wait, I agree with her. But it depends on the tone of the question, right? When someone speaks to you and like seem so sure of themselves, like a lot of American, it's different than someone asking a question and being genuinely like curious. I think there's a big difference in tone, and it will influence if like we're gonna make fun of them publicly or we're gonna like leave them alone. You know, I think intention matter a lot and.
Been asked by Americans, and the first one is this one. Why do we call Germany Deutschland in German? I had never been asked this question before I came to the US, and I do understand people wondering about why Germany has so many different names in different languages, but I've straight up been asked before, so why do you have a different name for your country? Why don't you just call it Germany? Or why do you call your hometown this weird other name, München, if you could just say Munich? Number 2 on my list is this one.
I think, to be fair, I don't think it's that stupid of a question because before making this like channel and reacting to Germany, when I heard Deutschland for the first time, I didn't know that it meant Germany. I thought it was more like some kind of patriotic name for Germany related to like the national anthem. But now it makes sense that it means Germany. It's just that all around the world, we don't say the name in the native language. Even you guys, when you go to Thailand, and I speak to people from Germany here in Thailand, when I ask them where they're from, they're never going to say Deutschland. They're going to say Germany. It's like the universal code. So I think some people get very confused when they hear something else, and they're like, is this a thing? I think it's more so asking you guys, do you use that in your everyday life? Yes, you do. So I think this one is not that stupid. I think it depends like how far to push it after that and things like this.
Hi, I'm Felicia. I'm from Germany. Wow, that's so cool. Like, have you lived in Germany before? Yeah, I was born and raised there. I didn't even come to the US until I was 22, after I got my bachelor's degree. So, do you speak German? Which language do people think one speaks when they're born and raised in Germany? Sometimes the conversation even goes on a little. Yeah, of course I do. Like, fluently? Yeah, it's my native language. Like, my whole family is German. And guys, I've probably had this conversation 10 to 20 times in the US, so it's not one of those once-in-a-lifetime situations. I actually just had it again this past weekend.
To be fair, she speaks with a very natural North American accent. She doesn't speak like how I think a German would speak English. So she speaks much better than me. I'm from Montreal, Canada. English is not my first language. It's French because I'm from a French part of Canada. And her, if I see her on the street and she speak and I don't know about her YouTube channel, I would 100% think that she's either Canadian or American. Like she speak like someone from like New York or California. She speak a very international, like straight line English. So I understand people that are like, wait, you already lost your accent and you've been in Germany so long, but you're kind of confused. And I kind of get it a little bit, actually.
Before I share the
Maybe it means that I'm just as dumb as American, because I would too ask her, because I moved to Thailand. I still have my French Canadian accent. I did not lost it. So I don't know. And I still speak English the same way as I was speaking when I'm in Canada. So I don't know.
Hey, German girl. So, what's it like driving on the wrong side of the road? What do you mean? You know, since we drive on the right side of the road here, so do we in Germany. Wait, I thought you guys drive on the left side. I really don't know why so many people think this, because I'm telling you, even Americans that know a little more about the rest of the world than the average American have asked me this before. But guys, it's mainly the UK and former British colonies that drive on the left side, like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, or countries in Southeast Asia like Thailand.
Yep.
But in Europe,
She mentioned Thailand. It warmed my heart. And it was a shock for me because I'm from Canada. And when I came to Thailand, yes, they drive on the left.
we all drive
I
on
live
the
in
right
Thailand.
side, besides the British. Next up, I always find it a dumb
And I get asked a lot, how do you adjust? It take a week to adjust, honestly. Because you see life around you. And you adjust in a week, a month. It's not that difficult to adjust to a different side of the road, to be honest.
question when I tell people that my name is Felicia or Felicia in German, and they ask why I have an American name if I'm German. I know that's not a super dumb question, but I always find it a little ignorant. Like, so many names are names that you'll find in all kinds of languages, like Julia, Julia, or Anna, Anna, or Peter, Peter, and Felicia has a Latin origin and shows up in all kinds of languages. That's actually one of the reasons my parents gave me this name, because they thought it might be helpful if the name exists in other languages as well. And well, they were right about that. And to get to the really, really dumb questions, we're gonna have to go back in time a little to when I came to the US for the first time at the age of 16 to participate in a high school exchange. Some of the American kids were even younger than 16 at the time, and I think it's okay that they didn't know all that much about other countries, but I was still shocked by some of these questions. I got the classics, like if all Germans are Nazis, or if Hitler is still alive, but also questions like, do you guys have refrigerators in Germany? Now let's get to the most annoying questions I get asked by Americans. And
he could have asked, do you guys have aircon? Because right now there's like a big, I don't know, it's very hot right now in Europe. In July it was very hot. In June, and a lot of you don't have aircon. So I think that would have been a fair question. I don't think the fridge question is that stupid. Maybe you guys, I don't know, maybe you guys were using a different method, because a lot of you don't have aircon. And for us Canadian, I would say, if you tell me growing up that in a country in Europe they don't have aircon, I would not believe you. So I kind of get it. Although the fridge, are you going to eat? I mean, kind of.
the first one is
kind of
more
weird,
of
but
a me thing, I think. I don't think that other Germans are annoyed by this, but when people talk about soccer around me, they often go, oh, no, sorry, you guys call it football, right? So this football player, Lionel Messi, blah, blah, blah. Or when I say soccer, people often go, wait, I thought you guys called it football. And yes, I know that some Europeans are very set on calling it football, but I always find this kind of annoying. Like, I'm speaking American English right now. Why would I call it football if that just leads to confusion in this country? I really don't care what.
Yeah, it's exactly like the example of her name earlier. You adjust to the country that you are in. It doesn't mean that like you destroy your culture, but like when people ask me what my name is, like my full name is difficult to pronounce, so I just say Max, because Maxime, the X is super hard to pronounce. Also, I will not really say my name with a French accent, because it's again Maxime or Maxime. it's hard for people to speak with the French, so I always adjust as if I'm a native English speaker because nobody speaks French around here. So
what it's called. I just want to make sure that everyone understands what we're talking about. Plus, no, we don't call it football in Germany, actually. We call it Fußball. So I personally really don't care which English word I use for it. In American English, it's called soccer, so that's what I'll say, and that's what I expect Americans to use too. Then I find it kind of annoying that I always get asked things like, wait, don't you guys drink your beer warm in Germany? No, Kyle, we don't. I've addressed this topic in...
No, but you drink glögg, right? Which is hot wine during like Christmas and other event. Right? It's called glögg.
Before, though, if you're
I never had that before, though.
Number 3 on the list of annoying questions is when Americans say something like, so how are you dealing with all of our local accents? Like, have you noticed that some people will call it pop instead of soda? That must be so confusing to you. What accents are you talking about? Like, yes, regional accents are a thing in the US, but compared to pretty much every other country in the world that has been around for more than 300 years, Americans literally speak the same wherever you go. Like, in Germany, we have over 100 dialects, and our country is smaller than Texas. Sometimes people speak a different dialect in the neighboring village with different pronunciations, different words, and different sentence structures. It's really not that crazy that there are a couple words that people use differently in different parts of the US. Given how big this country is, the amount of different accents and dialects is actually extremely low. And the same thing goes for when people say things like, you gotta know that us Americans, we use a lot of slang. We don't really speak proper English, you know. Oh, thank you for explaining that. Yeah, other languages don't have colloquialisms and slang. And last but not least, this might sound kind of mean. I think a few of these things actually have sounded kind of mean, but I sometimes find it annoying when people ask me about how authentic the German food is at a specific restaurant here. Like, it really depends on what you mean by that, because we don't eat schnitzel and potato salad every single day in Germany, and most of what you find here is traditional Bavarian food and doesn't represent the rest of Germany at all. So the answer is that in most cases, things have been Americanized a little, so that's something that I can at least judge, and it's also pretty easy to judge the pretzels, which aren't.
As someone who's from Canada, and when I try the Asian food in Canada and then I come to Thailand, I can tell you that it's completely different. It's adjusted. It's almost like a completely new food. It's like a reinvention of something that you guys ate. So I can say proudly, well, I never had proper pizza. I never had proper schnitzel. I never have proper pasta because I've never been to Europe. But I can tell you that I had proper Asian food, Indian food, Thai food, Japanese food, and I would never eat that food where I'm from in Canada. Not because I'm trying to be snob, but because it truly doesn't taste the same. It's got completely different universe.
German at all at most places in the US, and beer cheese isn't a German thing either, guys, and neither is dipping your pretzels in mustard. But yeah, I personally don't love that question because it's just such a vague question to answer. And the weirdest thing is when people ask me about pseudo-German food that is actually from the US, like Geta, which is very popular here in the Cincinnati region, or sauerkraut balls, or the beer cheese dip that I just mentioned. And then people ask me how authentic that is, and I'm just like, well, I've never seen this before I came to the US. So those were all the things that I could think of for them. Videos just...
I think one of the best example, I think it's pad thai, which I think a lot of you know, but pad thai is not Thai. Pad thai is more like a Chinese dish. Pad thai, I know it has the name Thai in it, but there's not much Thai about it. And it's a dish that is not popular around here. It's only foreigner that eat pad thai, because they're used to eat pad thai at home, like in America or Canada, and then they come to Thailand and they want a pad thai. So when you go to the tourist area, there's street food vendor that will make pad thai for you, right? It's part of the menu. But my wife never eat pad thai, and I don't know Thai people who eat pad thai. They will eat some tam, which is papaya salad. They will eat Kaimo Glob, they will eat the Pat Kapao, they will eat the Tom Yum soup, they will eat all of these things, but Pad Thai, it's not the national dish, it's not really known at all in Thailand. It's only known because of the tourists. So this is, I can relate to her because I would never have known if I had not come to Thailand. So I kind of, a lot of these questions, because I've been dumb in Thailand with the question that I've asked, I kind of understand people, so...